I've made many a video about Syntheticman during my years here on YouTube, but every single time I simply just critique an opinion of his he has about a game or a TV show or whatever. It's just simply me critiquing one video or one opinion, but this time I thought, let's actually look at the way he reviews things, because that's his whole channel, right? It's reviewing games and TV shows and movies, mainly video games though. So today I'm going to critique his reviewing style, not so much his opinions, just basically mainly his way of reviewing and all the hypocrisy and bullshit that comes along with it. Now I do quickly want to say, I'm shit at scripting videos, which is why I never do it. So this video will be chopped up in multiple chapters that are not related to each other, so I can talk really like in depth about everything I want to cover. And those chapters will be in no particular order. So yeah, let's get into it. This is something I've noticed a little bit more recently about Syntheticman. He will make a lot of jokes, right? And some of them tend to be very unfunny, cringy, and just offensive for the sake of being offensive. I'll play two examples for you right now.
So when you eventually find her, she's one of these mutant creatures that can't really communicate anymore. And feel free to insert your jokes in the comments section about a trans character being a disgusting mutant. So
The endpoint remains
me
the
and
same.
her, we obviously need to breed.
Better to walk your path
And
than
then I
stray.
execute all my sons. And then breed with the daughters. Execute all the grandsons. Breed with... Anyway, Anyway.
Just in case you didn't fully understand what the joke was in the second clip, there is this black character in the God of War, and he was making a joke about how he would, you know, have sex with her, and then kill all of the sons that he produces with her, and then rape all of his daughters, and then do the same thing with the sons and daughters that they reproduce, and just essentially keep going until all the black genes have been removed from the bloodline. Very funny joke about rape, incest, and racism, I guess. And the other one is obviously him just calling for his fans to make fun of trans people for being, I guess, mutated monsters. Now, these are the type of jokes that obviously get a lot of backlash, right? And Syntheticman and Syntheticman's fans will cry about it, like, oh, it's the joke police, oh, it's just a joke, guys, can't you take a joke anymore? It's just dark humor, bro. And the thing there is, like, yeah, dark humor, edgy humor is allowed to exist. It can be funny. Jokes about other races or trans people, get this, can be funny if they are funny. If the jokes are simply just edgy and offensive for the sake of being edgy and offending people, that's very cringe. And just because it's a joke, it doesn't mean that it can't still be racist, you know? And I just think it's very fun that Syntheticman and his fans are very upset about like not being able to joke about whatever they want anymore and people getting way too offended quickly and all that shit, but at the same time Syntheticman will constantly complain about like Reddit humor and, you know, call games bad for having Reddit humor in it. So
Stop right there. This is the esteemed mercenary company headquarters of the Rotten Onions. These fucking stupid names, too. What kind of name is to Rotten Onions? Am I right, Redditor? Isn't that crazy? You wrote it. You wrote it. That's not funny. Oh. It's not. You're not funny. You suck.
like, it's just funny to me that on one side, when he makes the joke, censorship is bad and he should be able to say whatever he wants and humor is subjective. But when other people make a joke he doesn't like, censorship good. And that joke sucks and it shouldn't exist. My main point is he's incredibly hypocritical, constantly complaining about the joke police while also acting like the joke police whenever the joke isn't funny to him. Another thing I find funny is that these Syntheticman fanboys who love to make fun of like transgender people for apparently being disgusting monsters get really angry at me when I make fun of Syntheticman for being a fat incel loser. That's not funny, right? Then I go too far. That's not okay. But it's funny when they make fun of people they don't like. Right, then usually I'm not, by the way, for making fun of the way people look, but if you're racist, I really don't care. Syntheticman will constantly get distracted during his reviews, where it seems like he's actually properly reviewing a game before going on some random tangent about something no one really cares about. One of the more recent and very clear examples of this happening is when he reviewed this like indie game, I don't know the name, I've shown you a couple clips of that review already, where he actually had some pretty like valuable things to say about it. You know, the combat sucked, he criticized the combat really well, the story also seemed like it was pretty shit, and he criticized that pretty well, but he constantly got distracted by shit he perceived to be left-wing propaganda, and then spending enormous amounts of time complaining about that, when it wasn't even clear if it was left-wing propaganda or not, or if it was quote-unquote woke or not. Like he complains about how there's no like dating mechanics in the game, and how that's really bad and clearly like a left-wing propaganda type shit. It's like, how? Who cares? And you know, I've realized I've covered a lot of Syntheticman reviews, right? And never when I've critiqued one of his game reviews have I ever talked about his opinions on the level design or on the gameplay mechanics. I've always only focused on the weird ass shit he says when he just randomly starts bringing up, like with Tears of the Kingdom. I covered his Tears of the Kingdom review. Do you think I talked about what he, you know, thought about the combat mechanics or the new dungeons? No. Fuck no. This guy randomly decides to start complaining about how the game is grooming children into becoming homosexual because there are two male characters holding hands for 2 seconds. Like they're shaking hands, and that's grooming children to be homosexual.
Quote unquote subtle homosexual imagery from Breath of the Wild has been expanded even further in this one, and I already know people are gonna say I'm reading into it and no kid's gonna see this shit, but that's exactly how you desensitize people and how you groom them, right? You expose them to things.
How, like, if you say shit like that, how the fuck do you expect anybody to listen to anything else you say in the entire review? Like, it's almost like Syntheticman could have been a good game reviewer if he didn't have so much, I guess, political brain rot, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, if he didn't constantly see left-wing propaganda everywhere. Syntheticman is a sellout. Even worse than that, he's a hypocritical sellout. He's a sellout who complains about how other people have sold out, and because those other people have sold out, they're bad and their opinions are invalid. Completely, I guess, being unaware of the fact that he himself is also a sellout.
You have to keep in mind, I thought Raid Shadow Legends was one of the less bad ones. That's why I took that one, on top of them paying a lot.
How do I avoid controlled opposition stuff? Also, please never become like Drinker or Moist Critical. Just don't be a sellout.
That's why I took that one, on top of them paying a lot.
People aren't being more critical lots of pasta because everyone is a sellout. And I mean basically everyone.
That's why I took that one, on top of them paying a lot.
His fans were actually pretty upset with him, you know, taking a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship and selling out. And he decided to, you know, respond to his upset audience by just completely lying and gaslighting them. Very funny.
And 2021's Game of the Year is Raid Shadow Legends, is what I'm sure some of you think I actually believe. Honestly, I'm disappointed in a lot of you. Do you really think I believe a single word I said during that ad? And if you do, well, you're just an idiot. I hate to say it. And if you don't, then what's the problem? A lot of you seem to believe that this is going against my principles. Just don't be a sellout. Or that I've deceived you or betrayed your trust in some way. If you actually watch my channel, you know that my position on microtransactions has always been that the idiot consumer is to blame for purchasing them.
That's not why people are mad. People are mad because you sold out, not because you, like, have a weird fucking idea about microtransactions. You sold out. You constantly tell your audience, don't subscribe to anybody who sells out. All these other people sold out. I don't sell out. And then you sold out. You fucking sold out. You fucking hypocritical piece of shit. You sold out. Honestly, I would have respected it if he came out and was like, I just need the money. I would have respected that, because honestly, I don't really give a shit if anybody takes a sponsorship. If, like, people need money, right? But it's just the fact they make such like a principle about like never sell out, don't trust anybody who sold out. I haven't sold out, guys. All these other people, they sold out. Don't trust them. Trust me. And then he sells out and then proceeds to like gaslight his audience when they call him out for, you know, selling out. He's like, it's your fault I sold out, actually. If you bought it, and if you actually believed me, you know, that's your fault. It's like, no, dude, you still fucking sold out. It doesn't matter what your intentions were. You sold out. And you might be like, Atomics, this video you're making is supposed to be about, you know, how he is a bad reviewer. What does this have to do with him actually reviewing shit? Well, I think, personally, that if someone is so hypocritical to this fucking point, right, where they say never sell out, everybody sold out except me, and then they sell out and gaslight their audience about selling out, how the fuck are you ever supposed to trust anything someone like that, someone so hypocritical, fucking says ever again? Genuinely. Why the fuck would anybody listen to anything this retard has to say in any of his videos? Normie is a word that Syntheticman really likes to use to describe people or things he doesn't like, in the same way he uses woke, right? Because both words kind of vaguely have a meaning, but not really, so you can just apply it to anything you don't like. But why I specifically want to talk about his use of the word normie is because he's using it again, like in this entire video, in a very hypocritical way. I realize this entire video is just turned out into why Syntheticman is a hypocrite, but he uses it in a way where essentially he uses it to describe people that are just casual gamers, you know? They're casual, they're normies, they don't really know what they're talking about, they don't really care about the lore, about the franchise. And the funny thing about that is that Syntheticman very often falls within that bracket. Like with his entire Fallout series review, he constantly complained about normies and casuals ruining Fallout and not caring or not understanding the lore. And throughout my review of his review, I've made it very clear that Syntheticman doesn't even know the lore himself, doesn't understand Fallout himself, and falls technically within the normie bracket. This video was supposed to be all the reasons why Syntheticman sucks as a reviewer, but it kind of just turned into all the reasons why Syntheticman is a hypocrite, or all the things he's a hypocrite about. I guess except for the part where he gets distracted constantly by perceived left-wing media or left-wing propaganda or whatever. But yeah, nah. I mean, he is a giant hypocrite, and I think I've proved that in this video. Speaking of this video, I think this is a very good point to end it. I think I've made most of my points in this video quite clear. And yeah, with that being said, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.